Well, Texans fans, the NFL season has started. And what a season it's been so far for the Houston Texans. Now, with week 4 coming up, I guess for this video, I'll give y'all a week 4 preview and a review of week 3. Texans beat the Chargers, the LA Chargers, who I feel like the Texans would have struggled a little bit, have been struggling a little bit for the last few times we've played them. But the Houston Texans pull out the win over the LA Chargers, 27-20. Now, I haven't done a review on a Texans game yet. I was going to do a review on the Texans-Saints game and the Texans-Jaguars game, but I will mention those in this video. But first off, it's a good win for the Texans. I mean, you got to know, if the Texans are beating the Chargers, it's an automatic great win for the Texans. Because, the LA Chargers were better than us last year. They had a better record. They had a better team. So it was a good win for us. And I feel like the Texans have opened the season up in a good way. We are now 2-1 on the season. Last week, barely beating Jacksonville, winning by 1.13-12. And that was just a close one. I mean, I feel like now it's kind of like thinking back. If we had lost to the Chargers, then I would have said, okay, that there's something seriously wrong here. But we barely pull out the win to the Jaguars, and yet we win by a touchdown to the Chargers. Now, I like the Houston Texans so far this season. I do. It took a 57-yard field goal for the Saints to beat us 30-28 on the opening week. A 57-yard field goal. So what does that say about the Texans? Well, I'll tell you what it says. I think the Texans could be a good team this season. And I didn't think they were before the season started. I thought they were going to maybe finish like 3rd in the division. I did the video on Andrew Luck retiring and how that affects the Texans. But, we haven't played the Colts yet. And, well, we're definitely going to play the Colts soon. But, anyways, the Texans win this one over the Chargers 27-20. We were down 17-7 at the half. So, we gave up 3 points in the second half. So, it was a great defensive second half for the Texans and a great offensive second half for the Texans. So, a great second half for the Texans overall. But the first half, we didn't start out so well. We did score a touchdown, but we gave up 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Now, I liked the Texans' defense in that game. I really did. But we gotta get a better secondary, man. We have to. Because I just feel like having Jonathan Joseph out there, who's like, 35? And him having to go out and I can't catch my breath. He's got to catch his breath. Come on, man. But we gotta get another secondary guy. Because Jonathan Joseph is not a very good secondary. Here's why. He's old. He's 35, and he's playing secondary. He can't really run that fast. So, that's probably why he was giving the Chargers receivers that much space for them to catch the ball. And he does that so much, and it gets on my nerves. Now I know why. Because he's getting old, and he can't run as fast. But other than that, I liked the Texans' defense in that game. I did. J.J. Watt, man, if y'all saw J.J. Watt, if y'all watched the Texans game, you gotta know that J.J. Watt had an awesome game. I mean, he had, I think we sacked Rivers how many times? Like five times? And I'm pretty sure J.J. Watt got about 2.5. He got about half of those sacks. So about 2.5 sacks. It was just a matter of time. In J.J. Watt's words, it was just a matter of time for him to, get those sacks and wake up. Because the first 2 weeks, he didn't even get a sack. So that week kind of made up for it. This league this season is very wacky and it's very diverse. Many teams with great players. Of course, we all know that Antonio Brown quitting the NFL. Antonio Brown is quitting the NFL. And by the looks of it, he's going back to school. I don't have any words about Antonio Brown. I don't even want to talk about Antonio Brown. That's how much I dislike Antonio Brown. He's not a smart guy. But I don't want to go too much into that. But that's all I'm saying about, this other league and what's been going on around it. But I like this one for the Texans. Now 2-1. On Sunday, we will be playing the Carolina Panthers for the first time in a while. Whew. Of course, Cam Newton will not be playing that game. He is hurt not hurt. He's just not had a good season. He's been benched. Hopefully the Texans can pull out that game. Of course, the Jaguars got a big win last week. But to give you all a preview of it, I'm gonna say Texans over Panthers, because the Texans are a better team than the Panthers. We have better players. Our running game may be a little better than the Panthers. The Panthers actually they have a decent running game. Our receiving is definitely better than the Panthers. So, I guess to wrap up this video, I'd say it's a good win for the Texans. I feel like we started out strong the first 3 weeks. We barely lost to the Saints, but we barely beat the Jaguars. It's a little weird. But we beat the Chargers, and that's all that matters. A big win for the Texans. So that's going to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this video, please subscribe. Always want to hear what y'all think on the channel, what y'all thought of the Texans-Chargers game, and what y'all thought of the Texans so far this season. If y'all like the Texans so far, or if you think they're going to choke. So once again, like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you later, Texans fans. Go Texans!